Welcome to RC Audio Sports Weekly Vodcast. I'm Bobby Mendez alongside Haley Wilson and Coach Robert Villafranca. In today's episode, we will talk about basketball, the boys' first day of practice, volleyball, the final standings and the playoff schedules. We'll move on to some football, 12-5A district football, and then we shall also continue with our gem of the week. We'll have a video to share for you on that. With that, let's start off with some cross country. Haley.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had the regional meet happen over the past week or so and got some exciting results to share with everyone at home. For the 5A girls, we had top performances from Alicia Galvez and Regina Pompa from Southwest Legacy, who were the top two district qualifiers at the regional meet. Regina, time of 21 minutes, 27.89 seconds, and Alicia finished with a time of 20 minutes, 41.68 seconds. So most impressed with the fact that Alicia is only a freshman, and so very bright future ahead for the Southwest Legacy cross country team. On the boys' side, we saw some standout performances from Edward Riojas from Harlandale, and then Anthony Zapata and David Martinez from Southwest Legacy. So Edward finished with a time 17 minutes, 30.28 seconds. Anthony Zapata, who is only a sophomore, I know Coach will get into that a little bit, but finished with a time of 17 minutes, 33.35 seconds. And David Martinez finished with a time of 17 minutes, 46.23 seconds. So some pretty quick runners out there, Coach.
Certainly there were, and this wraps up the cross-country season for these runners as none of them qualified for the state meet. We came very, very close to getting some state runners this year. But remember that we got cross-country in the fall and then track and field in the spring. So we're going to see these kids again. And you're absolutely right, Haley, about Alicia Galvez. Very impressive running for her at her very first regional meet. She finished second in district, but she had the best time of all 28 5A girls at the regional meet. She's a freshman. She finished 6 spots from qualifying for the state meet and only 18 seconds from doing so. Here's the impressive part, that from the district meet where she finished second to the regional meet, she improved 20 seconds. So some of that may have had to do with the course and all, but that's pretty impressive, and it shows that that kind of improvement can be done. If it can be done over a week, you can only imagine what we'll see over the next 3 years of her high school career. I would not be surprised to see Alicia Galvez in the next 3 years pushing on to a state tournament. On the boys' side, very happy to see Edward Riojas do as well as he did. He finished 21 among 184 runners. Edward had a slow start this season. He was coming back from an injury. And he was brought along slowly, as he should have, under the care of doctors and the athletic trainers at Harlandale High School. And he's just about back at peak. But he was the district champion in the 1600 meter at the district meet in the track and field season last year. So really looking forward to seeing Edward and Anthony, David, Alicia, Regina, and all the other runners compete against in spring. They made for a very exciting cross-country season in 28 5A.
Well, it seems like that cross-country team has a lot to look forward to going to in the future there, Coach and Haley. Let's move on over to basketball. Basketball's right up on the calendar. We already mentioned that the girls have started practicing, and now this week, Coach, the boys basketball team has now hit the floor.
Wednesday was the first day of boys basketball, and so there's a lot of thump in the gyms as the girls now started last week, the boys this week, and we're right around the corner from scrimmages and games. But as volleyball season, cross-country season, and football season in a couple of weeks begins to wrap up, we're getting ready for that winter basketball season. So happy to get the boys back on the court. The Harlandale Indians here recently in the TABC hoops state rankings in Class 5A, they're ranked number 25 in the state, according to TABC, Texas Association of Basketball Coaches. They're ranked 25. So looking forward to some great basketball this year.
Yeah, and I'm excited. The girls' season is going to kick off with some scrimmages starting October 30th, and then the season will officially tip off on November 5th. The boys just a week behind, starting scrimmages on November 6th and tipping off their official season on the 12th. So should be an exciting year. McCollum won last year, the district, so they're defending champions. Harlandale and Southside tied for second place, went to the playoffs along with Medina Valley. So should see some competitive some competitive hoops coming up here over the next couple of weeks and couple of months.
Can't wait.
Always looking forward to basketball. Such a great pace. Coach Marcus Alvarado and Eric Los Santos do a fantastic job with them, and as well as the girls as well too. So, moving on along, let's stay on the court to volleyball. Let's talk about those final standings as we get ready for playoff action.
Boy, what a season it was. 28-5A volleyball. District play at least is done, and we're headed into the playoffs for 28-5A. It was the Harlandale Indians who claimed the district championship after losing their district opener, starting off at 0-1. They a streak of 13 wins led them to the district championship, and they claimed the district championship for the first time since 2007. Although that's a very successful program and just perennial playoff. It's a perennial playoff team. It's been a while since they've claimed that gold ball, and they did it this year. Coming up, the runner-up behind Harlandale in second place was McCullum. And then right behind them, Medina Valley and Floresville claimed the fourth playoff spot. All four of them start playoffs next week. We have the schedule for three of them already, Haley, do we?
Yeah, absolutely. So Harlandale and Edison, we got their matchup today. They're going to be squaring off 7 p.m. Tuesday, November 2nd, I believe, at the Alamo Convocation Center. Some Harlandale players to watch that we've already talked about: Chanesty, Kayla Reyes, Grace Pacheco. McCollum is going to be taking on Highlands. We haven't heard when or where yet, but stay tuned to the RC Audio Sports social media pages. We'll post that information as soon as we got it. Medina Valley will be matching up against Jefferson, and Floresville is going to open up the playoffs against Burbank. Both of those two are going to be playing at Paul Taylor Fieldhouse also on Tuesday the 2nd, and some players to watch out for there: Spencer McCool from Medina Valley, Haley Hurtado from Medina Valley, Kylie Mutz as well. And so, yeah, should be some exciting volleyball coming up there, Coach.
And Haley, before we move on, we got this clip sent to us from a fan of Arlington High School. This is match point against the Southwest Legacy. This is the point that won the district championship for Harlingale. It's Leanne Morin serving, and Southwest Legacy gets it back across. Kayla Reyes with the pass, and Grace Pacheco with the set. Kayla with the kill. Point. Harlingale District Championship. So
Exciting. Volleyball, always exciting, especially when it's playoff time. It makes it more special, of course. So I believe we're moving along. 12-5A football, of course. 28-5A district sports for the others. 12-5A football for the boys. Now, this district is very interesting. There's a critical game this Friday, Buda Johnson and Dripping Springs. So those are the two teams that are at top of this district, 12-5A.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Buda Johnson coming in, like you had said, Bobby, 5-0 in district, 8-0 overall. So we can all assume that they're not looking to suffer their first loss of the season, or if any losses of the season, this Friday night up against Dripping Springs. Buda Johnson has had some standouts on offense. I think we've mentioned in some of our prior vodcasts, Jesse Medina, who quarterback has proven he's a threat both on the ground and in the air. And found really their offense firepower coming from receivers Ethan McAllister, Noah Vasquez, Richard Kelly, and even seen some great defense from Caden Windsor. So coming off last week, closer win at Seguin, only won 14-0. I'm sure this is going to be a really exciting matchup. And Dripping Springs is probably coming in with the same heat, Coach.
Well, it's a critical match for 12-5A D1, and I'd venture to guess that it may be one of the most critical games in the state of Texas, as both of these teams are 8-0 for the season. 5-0 in district play, and it's not often that you get to see two 8-0 teams play against each other like the fans of these two schools will get the privilege of watching this Friday. Dripping Springs, we saw Dripping Springs this past week, and boy, they've got so many weapons. Austin Novosad was the quarterback, was our player of the week for the season. He's got 144 receptions on 227 attempts, a whopping 63% completion average. Austin has 33 touchdown passes against 7 interceptions. I can only imagine what that quarterback rating would be. For the running attack, again, it's a two-headed monster. Luke Hudson, Preston Alford, they've combined for over 1,300 yards together. And get this, if you take their combined averages, they're gaining over 8 yards a carry. So, not too many third downs they've seen. If these two guys are carrying the ball, you figure 2nd and 2, 1st and 10, 2nd and 2, 1st and 10 down the road, if that plays out evenly. And no slouch on the receiving end either. Over 2,700 yards of passing already over 7 games. So, one of the things that stands out about these two schools is the way they've dominated their opponents. Dripping Springs has a winning differential of 35.8, almost 36 points. They've been winning games by. And Buda Johnson has a winning percentage, not a percentage, but a winning differential of over 30 points. So these two teams have been dominating. It'll be very interesting to see them in what we would expect to be a closely fought game. It's got to be one of the top games that's going to be played in the state of Texas, and it's 12-5A that they're representing.
Yeah, if you're like a scientist and you get two of the same forces combining together, we know what that is. That's an explosive game. That should be.
An
There you go.
immovable force, well, I don't know. I've got to go back and get my notes. An unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is certainly going to be a pretty big game. That's for sure in 12-5A. Vets Memorial and Canyon are tied at 2 and 3. Vets Memorial beat Canyon, so Vets Memorial owns a head-to-head. And then this week, Vets Memorial has McCullum, and then finally they end with Kyle Lehman. Canyon has Harlandale and Buda Johnson yet to play. So this district, those top 2 spots, definitely we know where those are going. And then those next couple of spots see where they go.
Well, we can't leave out Seguin. So really about the top 3 spots are
right.
taken in Vets Memorial and Canyon, really fighting for that last one. And we get to have Vets Memorial Friday night. We get to see them again.
And Coach, tell us a little bit about Vets Memorial.
Well, as we said, Vets Memorial is one of the 2 teams that is fighting for that last playoff spot. And they're hoping to come back to Memorial Stadium to sew that 4th playoff berth up against the McCullum Cowboys. The Patriots are coming off, of course, a big win over New Braunfels Canyon. In that game, the Patriots beat the Cougars by a score of 62-46. So we know that those guys can score, and we've seen them before. We caught them earlier this year when they played Harlandale, and that game came down to the very last play of the game. The Patriot defense was on the field defending against the Harlandale Indians, who were about 30 yards away from pay dirt, and they were able to defend that pass and walk off victorious 28-21. But one of the things that makes Vets Memorial so hard to defend, and one of the ways that McCullum is going to be challenged, is that they're so versatile. They've got so many weapons as well. They've got 3 running backs that have combined, or not combined, but 3 running backs that have over 500 yards rushing already. They have 5 receivers that have over 200 yards receiving already this season. So again, a very difficult team to defend. You pick your poison. It's James Peoples that is leading the rushing attack, and Desmond Roberts that leads the wide receivers in both receptions and reception yardage.
Yeah, and McCullum's coming in, Coach, off of their first district win last week, right? Versus Kyle Lehman. They won pretty big, 43-13. And so I'll be curious to see, the Cowboys started off the season pretty strong, fallen flat a little bit in the middle of the season, but picked up some confidence with that win last week. And so excited to see kind of how that and if that will play into the match against Vets Memorial last week. Some of the star players, that we've talked about, we've said their names over and over again. But Sean Tejeda, who's having a pretty good year for the Cowboys, has thrown for over 1,300 yards so far this season. And then for the offense, we got Ruben Pacheco, Isaiah Leffler, names that we've already heard, Gavin Howley, who have been kind of providing that offense. So again, curious to see, how that momentum plays into this game. And then I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but next week, is the big bowl, the Frontier Bowl. So we'll see if, McCollum uses this as an opportunity to continue that momentum up and hopefully keep that riding high into the big matchup next weekend as well.
Boy, if coming into that Frontier Bowl with 2 wins, I think the momentum wave, that would be the big kahuna. Yeah. They'd be riding on a wave of momentum if they can get this win against Vets Memorial. Should be very exciting. We're streaming it on RC Audio Sports.
And in fact, Coach, to add on top of that, that will be the last RC Audio Sports streamed game, right? The Frontier Bowl will then be there after, and that game will be televised, and we will have that coverage for you on KCWX. So wanted just a reminder on that, as our last stream cast or streaming video will be the Vets Memorial and McCollum Cowboys. So that's going to be interesting if the McCollum Cowboys can feed off that momentum and continue to go on. And like you said, going into the Frontier Bowl with that kind of momentum is going to be huge. So let's go and let's do some shout outs. Haley, who do you want to get recognized on?
Yeah, this week I'm really going off the walls. I'm kind of stepping out of our little district bubble, but I have to give a shout out to my Arizona Cardinals, who are 7-0 to start the season. Maybe jinxed it a little bit. They'll be taking on the Packers in about 2.5 hours. So we'll see how this bids over when this gets released tomorrow. But as a longtime suffering Arizona sports fan, I got to give my shout out to the 7-0 Arizona Cardinals.
All right.
Well, you haven't been suffering any longer than Texas Aggie fan, and we all remember Kyler Murray's short stay at Texas A&M before he went to Oklahoma. So best wishes to the former Ag and former Sooner.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh man.
How about you, Coach?
My shout out goes to the Harlandale Indian volleyball team, again finishing the district season with 13 straight wins, getting that district championship. Coach Ana Castro, who was an assistant volleyball coach for many years under Sylvia Cardenas, she was coaching over on the soccer side, and she's won a few soccer district championships, but this is her first volleyball district championship. So congratulations to Coach Castro and to the Harlandale Indians, who are going to put up a district championship banner in that gym for the first time since 2007.
All right, great. I'm going to sneak in an extra one on my shout out because it's going to carry over from last week. Last week's shout out was to UTSA. Now I want to say once again, congratulations UTSA, as they are now 8-0, I believe. They're still undefeated. And then my actual shout out for this week is to the Houston Astros for getting into the World Series and then winning Game 2 of the World Series.
Boy, what a game.
Yeah. All right. So now after our shout outs, we want to talk about our web gem of the week. And we want to play that clip for you as well. So Wednesday was the first day of official basketball practice for girls the prior week. This past Wednesday was the official start for the boys basketball. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Macabre blessed me.
Bobby, that's what I call a hype video.
Looks like they're ready to go.
Looks like they're ready. We're ready. We're ready with them. We can't wait.
And that's going to do it for episode 5 of the RC Audio Sports Vodcast. We thank you for watching. We also want to thank our sponsors, Martinez and Associates, Sonia Flores with State Farm, Ray Garza with On Par Golf, Gilly Mendoza with Gilly International Group, Moto Mortgage, and Superior Tax Service. We want to thank all of you very much for Haley, Coach, and myself. Until we stream again, you've been watching RC Audio Sports Vodcast.